And now to a moment that has everyone in the entertainment world talking today, the return of Jimmy Kimmel to late-night TV.
Kimmel received a long-standing ovation from the audience as he walked on stage. During his opening monologue, he strongly defended the right to free speech and took direct aim at President Trump. But he also got emotional, addressing his comments around the shooting of Charlie Kirk, which led to his suspension last week.
I do want to make something clear because it's important to me as a human, and that is, you understand that it was never my intention to make light of the murder of a young man. I don't think there's anything funny about it. I posted a message on Instagram on the day he was killed, sending love to his family and asking for compassion, and I meant it, and I still do. Nor was it my intention to blame any specific group for the actions of what it was obviously a deeply disturbed individual.
Joining us now, NBC News legal analyst Misty Marris and NBC News entertainment correspondent Chloe Malas. Chloe, we'll start with you. We heard one soundbite from a very long monologue. So for viewers who didn't get to watch, what are some of the highlights from his remarks?
Yeah, I mean, that was not the only time that Jimmy Kimmel, his voice cracked and he was holding back tears. His parents actually were in the audience. This monologue was about 30 minutes long, but although he, is walking back his comments and really lowering the temperature and clarifying things, he continued to take on President Donald Trump head on. Take a listen.
The President of the United States made it very clear he wants to see me and the hundreds of people who work here fired from our jobs. Our leader celebrates Americans losing their livelihoods because he can't take a joke. I never imagined I would be in a situation like this. I barely paid attention in school. But one thing I did learn from Lenny Bruce and George Carlin and Howard Stern is that a government threat to silence a comedian the president doesn't like is anti-American. That's anti-American.
Well, President Trump, he has posted on Truth Social some thoughts about Kimmel's return. And he said, why would they want someone back who does so poorly, who's not funny, and who puts the network in jeopardy by playing 99% positive Democrat garbage? And then he goes on to say, let Jimmy Kimmel rot in his bad ratings. But there was support from people like Ben Stiller, who said it was a brilliant monologue.
Misty, not everybody saw the show because Nexstar and Sinclair, two big ownership groups of stations, did not air it to their ABC affiliates. A group of Democratic senators now want answers from those companies. I want to read from a letter that they sent, quote, in part, if you suspended a late-night comedian's show in part to seek regulatory favors from the administration, you have not only assisted the administration in eroding First Amendment freedoms, but also create the appearance of a possible quid pro quo arrangement that could implicate federal anti-corruption laws. Both companies do have pending business before the FCC right now. Could we potentially see any legal fallout?
So it's significant business before the FCC. Specifically, Nexstar is looking to acquire another company, and that would give them 80% of the market share, which would mean the FCC actually either has to change their current rules or get a waiver directly from Brendan Carr regarding that acquisition. So certainly there's a business element to this, but it's not really a First Amendment consideration because they are private companies. They do not have to air anything they don't want to. The First Amendment does not apply in that forum. But when you're talking about these anti-corruption laws, this letter, it doesn't have teeth. It's a informal request for information. It's not a subpoena. But what it's digging into is whether or not there was the intent to exchange something of value. That value would be not criticizing Trump on this show in these markets for the purpose of getting a favor from the FCC. So that's the element of the probe that speaks to those anti-corruption laws.
And clearly we're seeing an intersection between the political climate and the entertainment industry. Chloe, in light of that, I know two major shows are sort of taking different approaches. Briefly walk us through what that looks like.
Well, you have South Park that is expected to return tonight, and they have been off the air, on hiatus since early September was the last episode. They have a lot of new material to work with. They have cartoonized, caricaturized Jimmy Kimmel in the past, so it wouldn't be, off the table for them to have Jimmy Kimmel be on South Park tonight, but we don't know if they're going to tackle this issue at all. So again, very interesting to see how that will play out.
All right, Chloe Malas, Misty Marris, thank you both.